Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with this Pirate Uber mod. Just as we're finished with the Spanish in the New World, then Spanish 2.0 strikes. The new Spain has declared war on us. So currently, right at the start, we lost this to the Spanish. Or the new Spanish. It's easier to just call them the Spanish. So we lost that. They tried to march up here. Here I actually was able to repel them. They had taken quite a bit of damage, taken the first fort, and then they were repelled by the second. However, it was a touch and go thing. And I mean, I'm so like annoyed by this, the fact that my growth is destroyed by this stupid imbalance in technology stuff, which I don't know if I've installed it wrong, but this does not seem to be implemented right, because this is killing all the wealth in the New World. Where, I mean, Cuba is a bad example, because that one has pretty high amount of wealth. But there's quite a few of them here that are quite low, some of these smaller islands. I'm sure I'll find one of these. But like 2,000, I mean, if it has 2,000 and it's slowly eroding. Currently, I am exempting it from tax. So it's just this technology debuff that still, you know, means that I'm losing 21 wealth per turn, which is quite a lot. Anyways, we fought New Spain. We lost one territory, we held another one. What happened in Europe then? Well, they held Livonia. I had as I talked about it a lot because of their crazy trade deals, I had anticipated them declaring war on me. So I had moved an army over here, quickly sieged it, and the defenders had no chance, so we were able to quickly take this back. Even in Europe as well, we are seeing a reduction in wealth, and I mean, here we have tons of stuff working for it. We have the ministers, we have the roads, we have the ports, and we have lots of industries. Still though, minus 12. Even in, you know, my capital, it's only 16. I'm having one thing. I'm having a big trouble keeping the Germans under control. Berlin constantly wants to be angry, or the clamor for reform for the upper classes is really high. Currently, we have high town watch presence. I've garrisoned a load of troops. I have basically a full stack 30-man army here just to try and keep these guys at bay, and it still is not really working. It's working better for keeping the Danes in happy, but that's because we've got, instead of a what's it called? Instead of a big arsenal, we instead have a church. I'm hoping that the army committee and the artillery school will do enough. I think those do bonuses, right? For what's it called? To keep the populace under control. Yeah, it should increase the happiness of the nobles a little bit. Enough anyways that keep them from revolting. Even a place like Vienna, which has tons of industry and stuff, even that I'm actually losing to I'm sure there's a small area somewhere that I missed that has like insanely low amount of wealth, and I've been working so hard on trying to keep my wealth on a good level, but we've got all these technologies. We've abolished slavery. I don't know, abolish slavery. I don't know if that counteracts the genocidal multinational capitalist corporation, whatever bullshit we managed to do here, where we, I don't know, we enacted genocide as a policy or an extended policy of capitalism. I don't know if that counteracted it, but we'll assume it did. As I'm now at war with New Spain, I am putting together the forces, or I am gathering the forces close to the port here, because we're gonna have to send them over to the New World, because New Spain has quite the fleet. So they've got one here, and I know they have another somewhere. I've been recruiting these Firelock citizenry and stuff to send them out to hold the port. Oh, the second fleet is right over here. So my race frigates are not really able to fight these. What I would want, they have quite high firepower and could. What I would want is, don't I have like carronade frigates? Can I not recruit carronade frigates anywhere? Carronade frigates are really good because of the amount of firepower they can lay down. Perhaps we don't actually have any. This is actually my best port, so if we would have something, we would have it here. I don't know what this is. This is a Resay frigate, but it's got a little bit more firepower than the previous ones. I think this is a named one, perhaps. And here we have another Resay, which is just the same as the others. This one's supposed to be named, but for some reason it's gone. There! Carronade frigates. It only has 24 guns, though. I thought it would have more firepower. 64. That's not a lot of firepower at all. What's the upside to it then? They're supposed to... I know in other mods, it has... Because it only has... I'm clicking on the wrong one. Because it only has the... you see the range is pretty poor. But because it has just carronades, it's supposed to have... You know, it's supposed to weigh up for the lack of range with just a tremendous firepower. But clearly that's not the case. Because it has about the same firepower as a 6th trait, which is pretty odd. It does have a little bit higher accuracy, but that doesn't really matter much when you don't dish out that much damage. Right, before we go ahead and try and send armies over here, we'll use the colonial armies that we already have. So we're gonna go ahead and split the, let's say, frigate fleet, and we'll go ahead and load these armies onto the ship, and we'll go ahead and attack New Spain by going for New Orleans and reclaiming Florida, which the Spanish sold to us. So I'm hoping they've got no one protecting these ports, which they don't. They do have an army, a full stack army, protecting New Orleans. We'll go ahead and land here, and we'll disembark the army. And then we'll get the second army onto the ship. And you know what? I'll detach one ship, because I want to see what they have here. Oh, they have basically nothing. They have Indians, a load of Indians. I can't remember what the Florida tribe was called. Or not that there's just one tribe, but I know there's... Is it the Seminole? No. Is it? They're called something. I've seen videos about the sort of... Is it called the Seminole War? I want to say Seminole for some reason. Is it true? Is it... Or am I wrong? Perhaps we shouldn't send the entirety of this force to go ahead and attack here before we... I'm pretty sure I'll win this one though. Oh, look at that. The wealth of this region is absolutely shit. Notice though how they're all Protestant because my priest moved through here. We'll go past the weaving mill rather than through it. Probably would have gained a little bit more ground had I gone through it, but we'll go past it so we don't have to repair it. Right, so we managed to land. I mean, fishery, I feel like fishery is kind of pointless. It does give happiness and population growth, but it doesn't really give that much compared to a trade port, which gives you so much more wealth and the possibility to trade, which is I mean, if the sort of the starvation leading to revolts kind of mechanic, or if that would have worked more into it, or you know, if there would have been manpower due to the levels of food and so on, then perhaps that would have made a fishing port more interesting. But in this case, it certainly does not. We're gonna go ahead and attack the Spanish here. So we meet the big army. Modesto Monso. Is he? That's what he's called. He's got 4,800 men. He's gonna be reinforced by I can't really see, but like 400 men. And I've got 4,000 under Emmanuel Bormann. We've got 4 cannons, which should, hopefully, do short work of the enemy's cavalry, opening up for my cavalry to sweep through quite quickly. But enough of this. We won't know anything until we actually come to contact with the enemy. So, another one of these where we sweep the Spanish away. And here's the battle setup. We've got the more hard-hitting cavalry over on the right, and then the 3 dragoons over on the side. It's colonial dragoons, so they should be, if I remember correctly, they will fire from horseback, so they will fire as they ride around. Not that it's been proven to be very accurate. We got 1 battery right here, followed up by 2 brigades. That's going to move through this woodland, and then I've got 3 units in 1 brigade that's going to move through here. There's a lot of impassable terrain, and I figure I can kind of set the troops up on these if the enemy want to come through here, and then we'll make the attack through here. Let's go ahead and start, and looks like they've placed some Irish troops and then a whole lot of their cavalry down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and order all my cannons to fire that way. We're gonna start the advance here, and then we're gonna advance these 2 brigades. It might be a little bit difficult to advance through here. There's a lot of impassable terrain everywhere. Lots of cannon shots going in here, ripping through the enemy cavalry. Wonderful. This one lost like 50 men. That's super good. They've got bloody pikemen, and the year is like, at this point it's 60, 70, 60s something. The 1760s. Gonna go ahead and reform these guys real quick as we've got enemy coming on. Grenadiers could be nasty, but I think the cavalry perhaps is the more pressing concern. If I fire a few cannon shots on it, it might very well be forced away before it's able to do a load of damage. I want to keep some volleys for the infantry as they come through. Oh, he's going for my cavalry, is he? They've drawn their swords. I'm going to go ahead and give ourselves the advantage here by opening fire on them. And just as they strike, that's of course when we fire our guns, so we probably killed quite a few of our own. But the enemy's cavalry unit was utterly destroyed. I'm gonna go ahead and once again go in and order the cannons to focus in on the enemy cavalry to break that down. Right, the enemy is advancing through here. We'll detach two to block that way, and then it's starting to get crowded through here. So I think 3 through there, with 1 going that way, which leaves 2 in reserve in the back of the woods. And then these dragoons then will come around to this side and strike from there. Right. If the enemy wants to march up within range of us, that would be great. Perhaps I should march up to them. Currently we are sitting down below the hill, and as soon as they are up on it we can open fire on them. And perhaps... canister I do reach with the canister of this battery. Right, we've started firing and it's good. I've been able to... There's a lot more enemies than I have troops, so it's good that we are starting the fire rather than they starting the fire, which is good. Let's gain some ground on this one right here. Arquebus here, militia. Damn, the Spanish have not put a lot of effort in... Oh, the grenadiers are going for my cavalry. Does it mean there's some obstacles right here we need to watch out for? And then the rest of my guns will continue to harass the enemy's cavalry. We are going to move these 2 reserve units up right behind the other 2 units, because it looks like we are looking at a melee fight soon coming on here. I want to see a little bit more of these drawn into the fight before I ride up the dragoons onto this area right here. Mounted Spanish bandits. This could be a problem here, so we'll move into square. It's actually within range of these 2 guns to fire canister. See, there's some melee here, and I will lay in an extra unit then, because this unit's already kind of breaking. They are attacking here now, so I'll add 1 there, and seeing as though they've basically committed all their troops to this fight, we can move our troops through. Right, and with that one defeated, we can move these through, which is good. Right, look at that, they are breaking, and we will follow. We'll follow with some. I will detach 1 to go ahead and aid at the square. Right, here comes the dragoons. We are actually forcing this one back towards these troops, which is good. I'm gonna order... Actually, I should order the first one, right? The first one should go in. And then there's a cavalry unit right there. Fire towards that so that I'm sure that we are not shooting at our own. Right, I think they should fire while they're... Yeah. And then strike. 1 of my units is broke there, but it's not actually that bad. It's protected by the square, and everything is fine. We should actually order 1 to go ahead and deal with that. I will order you to counterattack. And then both of you will be ordered to counterattack. The enemy general there was killed. Let's move the troops through. Infantry, let's go ahead and see if we can't get more troops onto there. The Irish brigade forced away. Let's see about getting these troops onto the hill there, firing on the enemy. Where was the cavalry unit that I had here? It is gone. I'm not entirely sure what happened to it. Although, no, I perhaps know what happened to it. It got killed. Not entirely crushed, but perhaps it's not in high spirits. Oh, we've got tons of troops that just came out of there. Perhaps I should focus then the artillery on this bit. The cavalry, the enemy cavalry has been shot to pieces as it is anyways. We didn't really have the time to follow that. Dragoons will now hold fire and retire while we organize the infantry here to prepare for the enemy, which is now coming through to attack us. I think I selected all the infantry, so everyone should be on the move to set up positions. And we can see the artillery is working. It's lobbing in shots towards them, and the Spanish are sending in loads of their troops, while my dragoons take the back seat for now. I don't think the mounted bandits will do much against us. That was a pretty poorly conducted charge, and as the enemy and their natives cross the open field, we'll have the cannons bouncing through all of that, and tons of musket fire, of course, also being fired into that. We should prepare the cavalry to set up here and then sweep against the enemy. And now with the cavalry attack gone, it should open up for these 3 units to fire at will and deliver some really nasty volleys into all of this mess that the Spanish have brought against us. I figure we might actually be able to wipe them out with the infantry rather than the cavalry. And then I will order the cannons to focus the fire over here instead, while the infantry will be moving to surrounding the enemy force. We are now, my cavalry is getting hit by the enemy. The larger cavalry unit will go up and meet the Spanish up there, while the other 2 units we'll have to sweep around from this side to get at those cannons there. And then my infantry here should absolutely annihilate the Spanish force. The poor morale of the these frontier troops means that they break so easy. Let's go ahead and go through there and back up with the other 2. And my cavalry is winning there, and it turned into an absolute slaughter here. where my infantry just ran through them all. We'll get the 2 cavalry units to go through and then around hit the enemy. Oh, we have 1 unit. The arquebusiers are coming back. Let's put the 260 or 259 units to meet them. We have a single soldier here running away, a single Spaniard. Right, go ahead and charge, and then I can order you guys to walk through that instead. There's no point in you guys sitting out there firing. And then cavalry goes through. Could have probably placed these better. There's a lot of choke points everywhere, so they could have placed them a lot better to make sure that I wouldn't go through. Also, at this time, cannons hold fire. Oh, cavalry should be going this way. Looks like it's going to be down to my infantry charging the guns instead. The guns decide to leave. They leave their artillery, hearing the oncoming force of this screaming Swedes, like the Vikings of old. Here's the result of the battle. I deployed 4,000 against 5,000 enemies. We lost 1,000, they lost 4,000. We have a force of 3,000 men remaining. The cavalry unit did survive. 69 men, AO! And they have 1,000 to run around in the New Orleans swamps. But the good thing here is that I will be able to take New Orleans without a fight. And the fort here is now mine. Wonderful. And again, the entirety of Lower Louisiana. Wonderful. They have very much neglected this area. There's a lot of towns that haven't been built up. Perhaps that's why they focused in on fishery and as a way to try and build up the province. What they should have been doing is spend some time in technology and upgraded the farmland up here in the corner. So we gain another area of tobacco, which is really great. And Baton Rouge is 27 turns away. That's quite a while. Gonna go ahead and build up the roads. We are doing that. Let's go ahead and repair this. I'll move the navy out just so that the enemy might not, or the enemy might attack that. Perhaps I should send the cavalry off to deal with that, but I figure that a cannon is gonna disproportionately cause trouble for me in the outer assault that I want to commit to. And then we're gonna have Gottfried Trana, the guy that I jokingly call John Wayne. He's gonna march in St. Augustine, Florida, and take that. And with that, let's go ahead and end turn and see if we can't bring New Spain to its knees. City under siege, Santa Fe, all the way up here. Figured that they weren't gonna be able to take it by force, so now they're laying siege to it. But I feel like I could uprise it. God damn it, Brandenburg again. Of course. It should be easy enough to crush this now that I have a bloody full stack. And no, I don't have a full stack. I'm missing a few units. I can have even more troops. Probably should get even more dragoons to hold in this place. State defeated, Plains tribes. Then we have the uprising, Santa Fe under siege. New guns in Crimea. I've recruited new artillery units. Longer range and higher accuracy. We've also got... where are they? There's also... there. Also got the howitzer regiments coming in. So that'll be good. And with some explosive shot, those gonna wreak havoc on my enemies. Sugar factory on Jamaica, and we have a weaving craft shop in Poland. And let's go ahead then and take care of this. It's the upper classes that are constantly revolting. And I just killed loads of them. And now they're pacified, at least for the moment. But I'm sure that's going to change. With that, let's head back to North America, and then John Wayne will strike. Loads of natives. Demand surrender? No, then I'm going to slaughter you all. 5,000 men against 1,700 defenders. Lost 350. Kill all the defenders. And boom, Florida is back under my control. It's Protestant, so easy enough to control that. There's nothing I really need to do here. Spain is a peace. Spain should be moved away. Spain does not have military access with us, do they? I just noticed that Spain has taken out Portugal. I paid so much to get the Portuguese get a good army, and now they have lost. The only thing that saves them is the fact that they have this little shitty island, the Canary Islands. Santa Cruz, Tenerife. That's what they hold. But the thing is, this area... Oh. Is this because of the Spanish that had that much... what's it called? No, it's because of the Portuguese, I guess. This area, for being a capital region, it only has 2,000 wealth. Although the entire place is on fire. So maybe that's not that strange. But that's a shame. And it's probably emboldening the Spanish, and they will try and come at me again. Not what I want. would rather not having to constantly fight these. The New Spain is sending more troops down from the north and from Texas as well. Oh, now we've got some kind of Chihuahua rebels up in arms at the something Wahun's Cock Warrior Band. The Cock Warrior Band coming through. Nasty people. I figure though that is time to sign peace treaty with New Spain. Is New Spain at war with anyone else, or is it just me? It is just me and the Islamic Emirates, which currently only holds Palestine. I feel like they would probably accept the peace treaty at this point. So that because the thing is, I mean, these are sideshows. I want to fight the British. That's the main thing. We are gonna fight the British with a large invasion, and then we're gonna re-establish as many crazy nations as possible. Crazy nations like Ireland, America, and Scotland. And perhaps we'll give back New France to the French. Who knows? We might do some wild and crazy shit while we're in the New World. Or perhaps I need to smite New Spain to... Also, at some point I need to deal with the... Or, I mean, nothing really happens currently with the Ottomans, but I feel like it's quite unnecessary to keep that war going. What do you say? We've been at war for the bigger part of this century. Perhaps peace. Peace treatment, trade agreement, and I need to give them 39,000. Trade with the Ottomans will probably net me a good amount of money, so I'll probably make that back pretty soon. Yes. And hopefully this is a lasting peace, you fat bastard. Let's go ahead and take a look at the trade. Great Britain is... Actually, France is the one I make the most from. The Ottomans, I make 13,000 per turn due to trade, which means that I will be able to recoup my money in 3 turns. Wonderful. Currently my trade with Spain is blocked. Besides the Ottomans, 13,000. Who is the biggest trade partner? Italian states, so the Pope, 10,000. Then we have Mughal Empire, 14,000. 19,000 to France. And then 14,000 to Great Britain. Currently, the most valued commodity is tea at 44 gold per bushel, or what is it? I don't have any tea, so I don't know what it is, or if it's bales or sacks. Probably not pelts. Next, followed by tobacco, ivory, and spice. We're dealing a lot of spice. Hopefully this will hold for 3 turns so I can actually make my money back. My plan of causing revolt within the Ottoman Empire never panned out. But perhaps it will at some point. Right. New Spain then. Do we think the New Spain will sign a peace treaty, or will they go ahead and burn everything to a crisp? I feel like it will recover strength and hold up in the fort and wait for John Wayne and his army to come to the aid here. As soon as this is repaired, this should work just fine. So, but now we have a border again with the Cherokee, and I figured the Cherokee would be quite friendly with us. I've given them thousands and thousands of gold to make sure that they would keep the fight up against the British. I did convert this area to Protestant, but it's very little religious unrest. They are quite tolerant of foreign faith, apparently. Anyways, let's go ahead and I'll send you to port, where they cannot force you out, and then we'll go ahead and end turn. I should be sending my fleets here now, but I figure I could probably end the war, and then I could just relocate or set the fleets up for my invasion of the British instead. Let's go ahead and end turn though, and see. I'll give New Spain one more turn before we try to come to terms with them. Raiding farmland. Right, I was just about to build that up to combat the slight starvation that was going on. We actually have tons of people now immigrating, coming in here to the New World. Workers on strike in Florida. Unsavory board. Who's this? Oh, you. So you unsavory. Happiness among the lower classes. You know, sending my spies, they a lot of my spies going to well, the spies that went to England, they died, and the ones that went to Ireland turn out another way. Ah, the new troops. So the new troops are starting to be recruited. 45 accuracy, pretty darn good. We also built some new stuff. New Granada. Got some smiths. And bigger port on Cuba. And then New Andalus got really good farmland. So they're happy. And we're turning them Protestants, which is good. And then come one, come all. Something. Not that I care. Okay, so the enemy didn't really make any good moves. They combined the force here, but I don't know where they're going. This force, instead of being here, it went there. And now my force, it is fully restored and can go out here on the peninsula, out into the swamp, and smite this force. Oh, the movement range within the swamp here is awful. I moved that little bit, and I was not able to come back into the town. John Wayne, though, will just be able to strike these, so we can open up the fishing ports, perhaps. I'll send out the cavalry, and the cavalry will draw them into the fight, and then kill them. Right, so we sent away all enemy troops. Wonderful. And oh, did he get 1+ for fighting in America? Confident General, brave frontiersman, 1+ in commanding. This John Wayne guy is starting to get a lot of star, although he's actually called Gottfried Trana. Right, with this, with the enemy cleared out, let's go ahead and see what New Spain's say about peace. I'm sure it's going to only be temporary. What about a white peace, New Spain? Oh, they agreed to it. And they might be open to trade. Okay, they'll reject it. I'm sure. No one can stay away from my trade for too long. I'm sure they're going to turn around and come come back to my trade offer. And we're already building up good roads. That's all nice. We're starting to send some goods away. I want to be able to send away the coffee. And actually, is coffee better than sugar? I imagine so. Actually, they're the same. The one that's really interesting, though, is the tobacco plantation. That one's interesting. I could have cotton instead, but cotton is not as good as tobacco. Also, could I... The farmland can be turned into... No, nothing interesting. Well, that's good. Everything under control. 23 turns to Baton Rouge. Probably that will change when the fisheries come online again. And hopefully then, since we're literally peace with everyone at this point, we should be able to actually... Wait, I'm still at war... Oh yeah, I'm still at war with the Persians? I completely missed out on that fact. Do you want peace? You are brave to make such a suggestion. In another place, you would feel my scimitar's edge for less. Right, you can't even reach me. Denmark's in the way. Right, let's go ahead and end... I was about to say end turn, but end the video right here. I feel that this is enough for this video. So, barring anyone declaring war on me, by the next time, I should have been able to go ahead and prepare our invasion of the British. So, their North American holdings, their holdings in India, and obviously their home island. And on that note, I will go ahead and end this video by saying, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.